On Friday, we did an exclusive for Blaze TV subscribers. So you were way ahead if you were a Blaze TV subscriber. On Friday, we told you what was going on with the WHO. Today, let me give you some information here. The WHO director is facing calls for resignation over his handling of the coronavirus. Now, this may seem like it's no big deal. Oh, there's somebody getting beaten up for, their handling of the coronavirus. Maybe they were incompetent. No. This is a Chinese takeover of the WHO, and we exposed this on Friday's exclusive show on Blaze TV. You can still watch it if you're a member. Just look for the Friday exclusive, my GBTV. And it's commercial free, and it gives you all of the details. But let me just give you this. The head of the WHO is the former Minister of Foreign Affairs at the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. He is also the chairperson of the Executive Council of the African Union. Why is that important? If you remember, we have done shows on China and Africa in the past. And in those shows, we have shown you, especially Ethiopia, the kind of money that Ethiopia has gotten from China. They have built new roads. 80% of their roads were built by China with Chinese money. They have built new palaces and new Capitol buildings. Something that Ethiopia could never, ever in their wildest of dreams afford. All of their politicians were given all kinds of perks from China. Why? Because Ethiopia has been dubbed China's dream in Africa. It was Ethiopia that hosted China's Belt and Road Summit. The Belt and Road idea or program is China's strategy to dominate international trade. They want the entire continent of Africa. And to give you an idea of how well this is working, Samsung and Apple used to be the most popular phone companies in Ethiopia until China moved in. Now it's the Chinese phone maker Techno. The Chinese presence in Africa, especially in Ethiopia, is absolutely staggering. They are everywhere. Chinese construction companies building structures all over the country, fully funded a $47 million rail system in Ethiopia, over 30,000 miles of roads. They provided 70% of the funds for another railway that links Ethiopia to neighboring countries at a cost of $3.4 billion. Let me remind you again, we're talking about Ethiopia. The investment in Ethiopia has now grown at the rate of 52% a year and is still growing. Ethiopia owes China now over $12 billion. Half of the entire external debt is owed to the Chinese Communist Party. So the speculation is the reason why the WHO got all of this wrong is because they've been doing the bidding of the Chinese government. They have been on the side of the Chinese government the entire time. They have been taking them at their word the entire time. They have been defending the Chinese government. As soon as the Chinese communists came out and said that this was racist to call it the Wuhan virus, that's exactly what the WHO said later that day. Every time the Chinese Communist Party makes a move, the WHO celebrates that move and backs that move up every single time. This is probably beyond now saving. This is probably way beyond the head of the WHO. How far deep down do the Chinese tentacles actually reach? How far down into the WHO? And that question could be asked here in America. How deep are the Chinese tentacles in us? by the way, anybody who is remaining thinking that China is the good guy, I don't know if you saw that in France sent, what was it? I don't know how many masks they sent over. England did the same thing, sent all these masks over. Italy did the same. And now China, now that they're on the other side of this and they don't need the masks, now China is sending back masks, but they're charging them for them. So instead of saying, hey, you did us a solid, we'll do you a solid, they're charging. And in fact, in France, they are now actually talking to the French. After Macron asked for 1 billion masks, he said, we'll absolutely make them for him and give them to you. But you need 5G first. You need to take our 5G system in France first. This is holding countries hostage for medical supplies. I think that the world needs to wake up and see exactly what China is and what China is doing. I bring this up because I think that we are sitting at the precipice of war footing because China is, as we will expose on Wednesday night's special on Blaze TV, the Chinese Communist Party is everything we feared of communism before, and they are getting worse and worse, and they are using this virus that we now believe came from their labs, and we'll give you the evidence of that on Wednesday. They're using this virus to grab control of what they hope is the entire planet.